Controversial opinions, I guess? I mean, I thought I kind of scrapped that series, but whatever. Controversial opinions. All right, last Cedar Point video for now, I promise. A couple weeks ago, I did a video where I broke down the layout of Steel Vengeance, the world's greatest coaster. And then a week later, I did my ultimate review of Cedar Point. And now, almost 3 months after I initially went to the park, I'm finally making my final video talking about my number 2 coaster in the park and my number 2 coaster overall. Maverick. Maverick is a ride that simultaneously blew away all my expectations, but disappointed me at the same time. Now that I'm reading that out loud, it kind of sounds a little stupid. I don't know. I wrote that script at like 3 a.m., but whatever. We're going to roll with it. I know that sounds kind of weird, so let me explain. First off, when I say disappointed, I don't mean it was any lesser of a ride than I thought. Oh no, I just thought Maverick would be my number 1 coaster because Cheetah Hunt was my number 1. And I think it really helped me realize that I didn't just like Cheetah Hunt for the launches, I liked it for the overall experience. If I just liked launch coasters in general, then Maverick would easily take my number 1 because it's easily the best launch coaster I've been on. But Steve was a better ride and just barely edged it out, although the gap is a lot closer than you might think. However, I still love Maverick, so let me tell you why Maverick is Intamin's finest creation. Now I know you El Toro junkies or I-305 fanboys or Skyrush stands are going to pitchfork me in the comments. Let me explain. I understand if you enjoy any of those 3 more than Maverick. Those coasters have a very unique set of skills that they specialize in. If you really like that specialty, then that ride is going to be your favorite. Duh. Toro focuses on ejector, I-305 focuses on raw intensity, and Skyrush does a bit of both. Maverick, however, does not have a specialty, and I think that's why I love it so much. You see, I'm a man who likes me some variety. A critic such as myself must have a sophisticated palate for coasters. And to me, Intamin has always been the company that's the jack of all trades. They really do a lot, but are the master of none, I guess, except maybe launches. So they're the master of one thing, and they're just really good at everything else. They have models that excel in multiple categories, but there always seems to be a coaster with more inversions, a faster acceleration, or more airtime. Maverick, however, is a showcase of everything that makes Intamin. Think about it. What's the first coaster you think of when someone says Intamin? For me, it's either Maverick or King Ka. And obviously, we're not going to claim that King Ka is the best Intamin. Maverick invented Intamin as we know them today. I really think this ride has the most variety on any coaster out there, and it does it all at such a breakneck, aggressive pace. People always say TMNT Shellraiser is so diverse, with its beyond vertical drop, its launch, its inversions, its airtime moments, and its 2 halves. Oh wait, Maverick does all of that, but just better. Maverick is really just the jack of all trades and the master of many. Now yes, I haven't ridden I-305 yet, but those snaps in the beginning are so good on Maverick. They're better than El Toro's Twister section, and of course, Cheetah Hunt's little dinky little switchbacks. Get that out of here. Don't worry, baby, I still love you. I really think these snaps are the best snaps on any coaster, but again, I-305 might have something to say about that. But besides that, these are the best snaps on any coasters. And then there's that airtime hill. Is it weird to say that this is the strongest moment of air at Cedar Point? That and the off-axis hill in Steel Vengeance. But yes, it's stronger than the outer bank, it's stronger than the top hat, and it's just really just so good. So we got the rapid transitions and we got the airtime. What about the whip? Well, Maverick's got that covered too. You got those savage snaps at the end of the ride that are a perfect way to end this beast. The second one is so intense that you almost find yourself bracing for it. It's not painful, it's just such an intense experience that if it catches you off guard, you will really be thrown around like nothing else. And to some people, that's a good thing, but personally, I don't really feel like being Indiana Jones's whip at the end of a super intense ride. That's actually a great analogy for this element. This last angle dive is like being Indy's whip snapped on the ground. It feels like that. There's also more airtime at the end I forgot to mention earlier, and it's also really strong. So we got airtime, whip, and rapid transitions. What about a killer first drop? Intamin is known for some of their incredible first drops, and this is no exception. I don't know what I said in my Steel Vengeance or Cedar Point video, but if I said I like Steve's drop more than Maverick, then I was really on something because this drop is so much better. And it's honestly the best drop in the park, even better than the 300-foot drop on Millie. You have to get to that angle so fast that you're just absolutely launched from your seat so aggressively. And the thing is, it's the first element on the ride, so you still have room in your restraint, so you're actually really going to come out of your seat on this one. Even though if you don't have room, this drop still manages to get me flying. I don't know how, it just does. You know how there's like that bump midway down Skyrush's drop that sends you to the moon? That's just Maverick's first drop all the way down. It's really the definition of short but sweet, and my sweet tooth really wants this drop again. So you got most of the Intamin staples now. Great drop, airtime, rapid transitions, and whip. Well, of course we need their claim to fame, a good launch. The first one up the lift is kind of forceless, but going up is really no faster than the cable lift. I mean, this lift is actually the same speed as freaking Skyrush's cable lift, and Skyrush has to go up an extra 100 feet, but that doesn't matter because what it lacks in the first quote-unquote launch, it more than makes up for with the second one. Coming to an almost near stop in a tunnel is really just amazing. Then blasting out with all that speed is something that everyone needs to experience. That turn right there, it's so sharp when you're on the ride. Like on the POV it looks smooth, but on the ride, it genuinely feels like the train is gonna fly off the tracks. I probably shouldn't say that. We've been having a pretty rough year. The launch is my third favorite launch I've experienced after Dragster and King of Cause launch, and for sure a highlight for me. So we got a good launch, we got airtime, we got whip, rapid transitions, and a great first drop. What about inversions? Well, Maverick's got 2 of them, and they're alright, I guess. I do like these inversions, don't get me wrong, and they're a great fit for what they are, but they don't wow me like the other elements. However, I almost like it that way. It's not a chance to breathe, but it's more like a variety in intensity. They're a little less intense than the beginning snaps and airtime hill, which I kind of need. Plus, they're both just really fun to go through. I wouldn't change these for anything, and I wouldn't even want to go through them any faster. I think they're perfect as is. And I think that's pretty much everything that makes an Intamin coaster great. Airtime, inversions, launches, whip, rapid transitions, and a great first drop. And Maverick excels at pretty much all of these. It really just is a showcase of Intamin's finest, and I couldn't love it more for that. Real quick, I do want to talk about them restraints though. Now, I know this might get me some flack, but I really don't care about restraints anymore. Restraints don't bother me at all. Maybe I have a super high pain tolerance or whatever, but even the Skyrush restraints don't bother me. The B&M Vest restraints are the only ones I've ever really disliked. However, the restraint only came down that far because it malfunctioned. I was sitting on the brake run and I was like, wow, maybe people are actually right. These restraints are kind of terrible. Like, they kind of really are digging into my hips. But then we pulled into the station, and when they unlocked it, it wouldn't come up. That's not how it normally is. Everyone was getting out, and I was just sitting there in the back like, hey, could I get out? A ride up had to come over and get like a key or something to unlock it. More of the story. The restraints aren't actually that bad. And even when they were that bad, it wasn't like unbearable. I mean, it was fine. So what does this have to do with Maverick's restraint? Well, Maverick's restraints are also disliked. But the thing is, when I'm on a ride, I honestly don't care. Like, when I'm on any roller coaster, the last thing I'm thinking about is the restraint. Look, I trust the manufacturer and the park's judgment, so they can put whatever restraint they want on whatever coaster. They just gotta do what they gotta do as long as I'm safe on the ride. And honestly, with the single dives at the end, if you had a T-bar, you might actually get some serious whiplash, but that's just me. More of the rant is I don't care about restraints on rides, so these didn't bother me. Plus, it wouldn't be an Intamin highlight reel if there weren't some sort of controversial restraints on there. Now, the last thing I want to mention is how just photogenic this ride is. I genuinely think this is one of the most beautiful coasters out there in person. The line in station and entrance plaza are just all set up so nicely in relation to the ride, and then the bright red ride with those compact trains soaring throughout, going down by the water and the water canyon blasts. It really all comes together to make one of the prettiest rides in the park, and there's some steep competition with a Giga, a wing coaster, and a dive coaster. And yeah, that's about it. That's why I think Maverick is Intamin's finest creation, because it encapsulates everything the company does well. It's the only coaster really out there that does that. Besides Velocicoaster, but shut up, that ruins this whole video.